Hello everyone, this is Jurassic Blast, and welcome back to the Explained series. In this video, I will be explaining the Devonian Period, its animals, plants, and the first vertebrate on land. This time period was very helpful for all us vertebrates. This time period also introduced fish. That's why it's called the Age of Fishes. Armored placoderms began dominating almost every known aquatic environment in the oceans. Cartilaginous fishes such as primitive sharks, it became more numerous than in the Silurian and late Ordovician. The supercontinent Gondwana was still dominating the Paleozoic. One of the biggest things that happened in this period, except the fish, is the Devonian explosion. Just like the Cambrian explosion, the abundance of plants started to appear on land, such as Degrafonus, that likely spread by vegetation growth. Cooksonia was still found through the early Devonian as well. By the middle Devonian, shrub-like forests of primitive plants existed. Lichtophytes, horsetails, and ferns, also promactosperms, evolved. Most of these plants had true roots and leaves, and many were quite tall. The earliest known trees appeared in the middle Devonian. These included a lineage of lycopods and oroscents. Woody vascular plants, the cladophyst and the progmetosperm activorous. These trichophytes were able to grow a large size on dry land because they have evolved the ability to biosynthesize lithogen, which gave them physical rigidity and improved effectiveness on their vascular system while giving them resistance to pathogens, herbivores. And let's finally talk about the animals of the Devonian period. Let's start with Otolespis. Otolespis was a lone-finned fish, which was closely related to the tetrapods. Otolespis was about 7.9 inches long and covered with large square scales. The scales and plates on its head were covered in a thin layer of spongy bony material called cosmine. This layer contained canals that were connected to sensory cells deeper in the skin. These canals ended in pores on the surface and were probably sensing vibrations in the water. Since I don't want to do the famous creatures just yet, we'll start with the unknown ones, like Mime Taster. This odd arthropod was related to another arthropod in the Cambrian, Marilinia. Mime Taster got to 5 to 6 centimeters, or 2 inches. Unlike Marilia, Mime Taster was a very social creature and was always in groups on sponges or orthocones. The next creature was Singerhans, a species of radiodont. Since it was in the radiodont, it was related to Paeotia, not Alomacaris. These were the Herdia. Cichaharis was named after a German outlaw named, you guessed it, Singerhans. This radiodontid looked like it belonged in the Cambrian, and the reason for that is because the appendage, called the Great Appendage. Fantastic name, I know. Scientists thought the Great Appendage died out in the Cambrian, but they were wrong. Singerhans was 4 inches long or 10 centimeters. The next creature is a Cutoramus, a 6 feet long eurypterid. It was bigger than Pterygotus, but smaller than Gigolopterus. The Cutoramus was in the Pterygonidae family, which had flat telsons. Cutoramus was one of those unfamiliar eurypterids like Gigolopterus or Pterygotus. Finally, we are back to fish. Next creature is Hyneria, this fishy predator. Get it? Was 10 feet long or 3 meters. Hyneria had power fins which helped it through the fresh water. Some people made theories that its fins could push itself up onto land. However, that is false. The next fish is Titanichthes. It was a massive placoderm that reached 23 to 25 feet long or 7.6 meters. Titanichthes was a filter feeder. It mostly fed on zooplankton in the shallow waters. The next fish is Dunkleosis, aka the Dunk. Dunkleosis was the biggest placoderm. It got to around 30 feet or 9 meters. It was the largest super predator of its time. The armored head on Dunkleosis was super tough, and the teeth were actually part of the armored head. Most of Dunkleosis' fossils were just going to be its head. The last creature I was saving, no, it's not a fish. Meet Tiktaalik, the first vertebrate to be on land. or the first transitional fossil. Tiktaalik can get up to 4 to 9 feet long, or 1.25 to 2.75 meters. Tiktaalik wasn't a fish, it was a tetrapod, which gave rise to amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. Now that we got closer and closer to the end of the Devonian period, extinction was coming in hot. The late Devonian extinction was not in a single event. In fact, it was a series of pulsating extinctions. Together, these are considered the big 5 mass extinctions of Earth's history. The Devonian extinction crisis primarily affected the marine community, and selective affected shallow warm organisms and cool water organisms. The most important group to be affected by the extinction event were reef builders of the Great Devonian reef systems. The reasons for the late Devonian extinctions are still unknown, and all explanations remain speculative. Canadian paleontologist Digby McLaren suggested in 1969 that the Devonian extinction events were caused by an asteroid impact. However, while their late Devonian collision events, little evidence support the existence of a large enough Devonian crater. The Devonian period were confusing for some when the extinction happened, but it wasn't the worst one in history. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell. Make sure to join this Discord server or the descriptions, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.